Live is starting, and we are coming up. And do I see all these beautiful faces? Not yet. Where are all our beautiful faces here? Come on, come on, come on. Looks like we are streaming, but the faces aren't coming up. Hold on, let me start restream. We'll be there in a second. Come on, you. It says we're streaming, but I don't see anything. We're just going to get started anyway. Custom streaming live. Okay, let me just play the music and let's get started here. Everybody hear it? Dance with me.
Welcome to Read My Lips Radio, a lively hour of unscripted conversations with savvy creatives. Producer and host, aka AkaRadioRed, asks novelists, artists, photographers, designers, comedians, actors, musicians, composers, screenwriters, directors, and technology innovators about their creative passion, inspirational muses, and how they create. Ooh, how those lips can talk. Now, here's AkaRadioRed.
Thank you very much to the wonderful voice who introduces me on this show. I'm akaRadioRed, and this is Read My Lips, where I get the privilege of talking to really interesting, smart, savvy, creative people. And I meet a lot of people who say, but Red, I'm not creative. I don't sing, I don't dance, I don't paint. I say, that's not what kind of creativity we're talking about. We're talking about how do you live your life? How do you talk? How do you walk? How do you dress? What do you do for a living? What do you do when you're not doing for a living? How do you smile? How do you relate to people? If you are an artist, a writer, anything like that in the creative arts, what inspires you? What are your muses? When do you do what you do? When do ideas come to you? And I'm happy to welcome three wonderful guests. But before I introduce all of you, I need you to make the shape of the letter L with either hand. I don't care which direction it goes. There we go. Oh, Mitchell, you're striding there. Okay. He's at a museum in New York. He's got to make this look good. On the count of three, I want you to join me in saying hello, L, 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 just like that. 1, 2, 3. Hello, L, L, L. Not bad. We got a little draggy at the end. Jordan, would you put them in for tied for second place for the most in sync? And we never rehearse it, but you didn't do too badly. LLL is lovely, lanky Laura Legs, our most loyal listener. Mitchell, she's in Whitestone, New York, and I've been trying to get her to move to a place that starts with L. So it could be lovely, lanky Laura Legs, our most loyal listener with the lanky legs in. And I'm in Loudon, Tennessee, but she doesn't want to come here. Louisville didn't work for her. Los Angeles didn't work for her. She's just staying in Whitestone. That's it. But at 6:01 p.m. tonight, I will get an email from LLL. And she will tell me what you said on the show, TJ, and what you said on the show, Sheila, like a little mini book report. And what you said, Mitchell, that's what she does. She's my informal but extraordinary reporter. And she'll give me she'll say, I love the show, Red. It was wonderful. So there, she calls me beautiful, gorgeous lady of red. How could I resist that? Today is July 14th. It's the 195th day of the 2025 Gregorian calendar. We used to have the Julian calendar. I don't know if you all knew it, but Julian had a little bit of a screw up in the month of October. I think if you were born in the second week of October, you didn't get a birthday every 4 years because he didn't know how to sync with the moon and the sun and the tide. So you know what? Gregorian came around and he said, listen, we got to do something about this. I'm going to be a creative pope. I don't know whether it's before he got nominated for pope. So what he did was he said, let's have a leap year every 4 years and we're going to add a day. And everybody in October got their birthdays back. And it was a beautiful thing. So there you go. And now we just came up on Restream and I'm looking at us and everybody looks really, really good. We are streaming. Okay, so I want to just say quickly, happy birthday to Jane Lynch, who is 65 today, the actress who played Sue Sylvester on Glee. And she's been recently in Only Murders in the Building with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. What a show. You have to find it. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is 40 today. She's the English actress and playwright who wrote Fleabag, which was turned into a BBC series, and she was the executive producer for Killing Eve as well. So I'm going to open now with my formal opening, and when I call your name, I want you to wave. So here we go. So everybody knows exactly who you are. Welcome to Cool Conversations with Creatives on our radiant stage, where sparks of insight meet the muses we engage. AkaRadioRed on her Scarlett mic so bright hosts the Warriors of Creativity in her live streaming flight. Today she honors creatives, 3, who are stylish, brave, and true, with panelists whose passions inspire all they do. TJ Jones, Sheila Donnell, and Mitchell Levy gather round, sharing experiences and wisdom where creativity is found. And here we go. This is your individual welcome. T.J. Jones. From Finger Lakes breezes where young T.J. played, his mother called out, "Go do something!" and stayed. A fire was sparked both in sports and on stage, from Godspell's bold light to a footballer's rage. At Penn State, TJ soared, a cheerleader with flair, while 100,000 fans filled the crisp autumn air. With a master's in drama and English in his hand, he taught, he coached, and he led with a vision so grand. Now a caring warrior, wise, soulful, and keen, TJ helps leaders rise with a grounded routine. TJ, what'd you think?
I loved it. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's my gift. And let's go to Sheila. Am I pronouncing your name right? Donnell, correct?
Not Donnell. It's Scotch.
So Donnell. We'll do Donnell then. Here we go. From Pasadena's sun to Newport's bright shores, Sheila's lived 6 bold lives, and she's ready for more. She cooked on a stage with a mirror above. Then she decorated homes with creative but tough love. From Wall Street to Tokyo, she taught with great flair, helping executives speak with confidence and with care. JetBlue took her sky high till the age of, 76? Now 82? Sheila's still mastering new tricks. With sass and sharp wit, her next book is inspired. It's cheekily titled, "You're Fired, You're Hired." Sheila, I hope you like that.
Thank you, Red. That's great fun.
You're welcome. And now Mitchell Levy. From Jersey roots with a teacher mom's grace to TEDx spotlights and a global thought leader's place. Mitchell's built Happy About and Think Aha too, where books are born with a systems view. His ahas arrive in less than a minute with tweet-sized truths and big ideas that win it. A 60-book publisher, coach, and mirror so wise, Mitchell helps bold leaders crystallize. With clarity, speed, and a soul that's bright, Mitchell Levy brings the aha to light. Mitchell?
Nicely done. Thank you, Red.
Have you ever been introduced like that before?
This is a first.
I had a feeling. Okay, so let me wrap this up. So gather round where the cool vibes sway as we dive deep into creativity today. akaRadioRed's Mike lights the way. We hope to inspire you to live large, to love life, and to play. There you go. So should I send compliments to Sylvie, my collaborator on the poems? What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah,
Please do.
She did well. I'll tell you later who she is, but right now we're not going to. Let's go around the table and let's take 2 or 3 minutes. I couldn't possibly condense an entire lifetime into 10 lines, but we certainly tried and made it fun. Mitchell, since you can't stay very long, I know I had TJ first in the order, but let me go to you. Why don't you give us a 2 to 3 minute maximum overview of what is AHA, what do you do, what is the minute, and what about these 60 books? So Mitchell, I'm putting you on speaker view. Why don't you fill the blanks, please, and welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. I am a Marshall Goldsmith certified executive coach. So he's one of the top executive coaches on the planet. I work with 5,000 CEOs who want to lead the path with executive abundance. I also spend time and have fun working with business leaders who are tired of slimy LinkedIn sales tactics. I've been in Silicon Valley for 38 years, happily married for 36. I've created 20-ish companies. I have published over 750 books. I've written 65, and my 66 is the most important. And I'll end with the introduction of what I'm bringing to the marketplace is now called Executive Abundance. And I'm excited about where that's at. And that book is now written. I need to go through it, get it edited, and it'll come out towards the beginning of September.
I love the name Executive Abundance. Those are, Mitchell, 2 very powerful words. And we've heard the word abundance many times. A lot of people talk about resilience and abundance and authenticity and all that. But I think you're onto, well, obviously your books are winners. But anyway, thank you, Mitchell. Just fascinating. And just tell everybody where you are. We're looking at a beautiful museum behind you. Where are you right now?
I'm currently in New York City at the Frick Museum. And we've had a family activity, we'll just say a funeral that we were at. And this is the day after to try to sort of pull it together and collect our thoughts. And there's nothing more beautiful than to walk around inside a museum. And so I had told Red that I couldn't make it. And I go, well, maybe I can make it for a little bit of time. And I'm happy to join you.
Thank you. We're happy to have you here, and thank you for the beautiful backdrop. That's quite a through your. Thank you for the courtesy. Is that an iPhone you're on? Can I ask?
No, it's an Android. They have great cameras.
Okay, I'm glad. Well, it's lovely, and thank you for giving us the background. Anybody needs Dramamine, take it now. We're moving around a lot, but it looks great. Thank you, Mitchell, and the hat. That's part of your signature. That's part of your creativity, Mitchell Levy, right? That you have.
There's a story to go with that, and if you want to hear it at some point in time, I'll give you a 2 minute story.
Give me a 1 minute version right now while we got you on. Go ahead.
1 minute story. So my wife and I, my son is 27. When he was 2 years old, we made a decision to rent a house in New York for 4 weeks every summer and invite friends and family. About 10 years ago, when we were heading to Paris, my wife walks into my office about 2 months before we were leaving, and she's holding a fedora. And before then, I used to always wear baseball caps. And she's holding this fedora and she says, honey, we're not going to be one of those stupid Americans that wears a baseball cap in Paris. And I unsuccessfully tried to argue with her. And one of the things, if you've been married long enough to know, is your wife always wins those arguments.
Yes.
And it turns out that my fan base were so excited about the fedora that is now part of the brand.
Thank you. Now, that's a great story. That's a wonderful branding story, and it's a collaborative creativity story. How your wife helped you hone that brand, and you liked it, your fans liked it, and you stayed with it. Thank you, Mitchell. Appreciate that very much. You stay around. Don't go anywhere now. We have a lot more. As long as you can stay, we got more to do. TJ Jones, I met you at the recent National Publicity Summit. I said, you got to come on my show. Do you want to? Yes, Red, I'll be there. TJ, I'm putting you on speaker view now. Would you please fill in the blanks for us, and welcome.
Well, thank you. First of all, Mitchell, sorry for your loss. I thought when you came up that was your house. I was pretty impressed. So, but museum is a great way to spend some time. And last thing to you, Mitchell, is I'm also a Marshall Goldsmith certified coach. And after hearing all of your intro stuff, I'd like to ask you to be my coach.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty well accomplished man. So anyway.
Okay, you'll have to take this offline. Go ahead.
And I'm going to say I'm honored and thank you.
You'll have to take this offline another time. I won't say get a room, but take it offline. Okay. I'm sorry that had to. Listen, I used to do stand-up. Now I just try to be funny sitting down. I'll settle for cute, but funny once in a while. TJ, let's hear about you.
I love it.
Fill in the blanks.
By the way, Red, I'm not sure you need to settle for cute because you really are.
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Oh, this is going to be quite a show. TJ, go ahead, talk.
I love being here because creativity is our soul. Creativity is where we can go and what can come out of us when we let it.
Mm-hmm.
So I myself have been through times where that side of myself was completely shut off. And on the wake of that, writing the book, working with teams, companies, individual leaders, and readers, many of which I don't know, is my passion. And it brings out a tremendous amount of my creativity, and it feels wonderful. And
tell us about the Caring Warrior. How did you get the name? What does it mean? Come on, give us a little background here. What do you got?
Yeah, Caring Warrior is the paradox of the warrior, but a warrior who shows up lovingly. And this plaque you see behind me was given to me by what I would call a samurai of this age. And he complimented me and said, TJ, you are a caring warrior. You show up fiercely, with conviction, intention, but you do it with a loving heart. And when I heard that, it put a mark in my brain. And at a very difficult time in my life, I reflected back and remembered that, and it helped me through. It was, in some ways, it was like an identity that I could hold on to. And then I really wanted to write the book because I know that everyone goes through tough times, and
Mhm.
everyone has a caring warrior in them, which is that best you, the you that you really we want to be, the person we want to show up as. So that's where it came from, and
Thank you.
it's a movement. I'm starting a movement.
That's
Definitely.
lovely. That is lovely. Pairing the word caring with the word warrior.
Yes.
They don't fit, but they say a lot. They
Yeah.
pack a punch. And the question is, how do they fit? How do people be that caring person who is also a warrior? I think there's a yin and yang in there. There's a
Yeah.
red and all different kinds of colors going on. So very,
Oh,
very
sure.
interesting. Thank you so much, TJ. Lovely to have you here. And let's go to Sheila Donnell. Sheila, takes me a while to learn how to pronounce difficult names. You should see the names I have on my technology show. A lot of my guests are European and the names have 25 letters in them and they're pronounced in 12 different
Oh
syllables.
my.
It's taken me some people who are on my tech show often. It's taken me 2 years to learn how to pronounce their names. So I thank you for the lesson there. Sheila, I'm putting you on speaker view. Beautiful you. Why don't you fill in the blanks and tell us a little more about yourself? Go ahead, Sheila.
Hi there, everyone. Well, first, to address the creativity thing, that's my focus. I'm a right brain person. The left brain stuff, the technical things, languages, numbers, way over my head. But I can do flower arrangements. I'm great with that. I can make quilts like the one behind me. So everybody uses their creativity a different way, but I'm also using mine now to create a book to help people land a career that meets their goals. And I discovered in over 55 years in 5 industries that I had to get real creative to jump from one industry to another. And to me, that was the excitement, the challenge, the fun of it all, to learn a whole different field. And I use my creativity to ask a lot of questions, and I encourage people to always use the 5 W's and how. Who, what, when, why, where, and how. What do you want? What do you expect from others, such as an employer? And I think it takes some creativity to have to sit down and go through that, especially when you're not a right brain type. So
Sheila,
that
I
would be
want to
my
know, thank you, but I also want to know, airline person, stewardess in your 70s? How did that happen? Come on, everybody wants to know that.
Oh, well, actually, I had retired, I thought, at age 59 and moved to Manhattan. And there I was still traveling back to Tokyo every 3 or 4 months and doing my seminars and workshops. And then I was also doing some coaching in New York to some people that wanted help in public speaking. So I worked on that, and I was flying up to Vermont on JetBlue to see my grandchildren. And JetBlue was a very young airline then.
Hmm.
And so not many people were on the plane. And I was chatting with a flight attendant, and they said, "Oh, you've been doing cross-cultural international. Oh, well, JetBlue's a new airline, and we're going to be a lot more diverse than the previous airlines. And they might need somebody to help with cross-cultural training." So I went and talked to the executives about it. And they said, "Sheila, that sounds great, but we'd like you to start working at the desk or the counter, or maybe as a flight attendant." I said, "Flight attendant? I've been a million-mile flyer for years. I'd love to do that." And they said, "Well, just for a year." Well, 17 years later, I retired. I loved it. It's such a hoot.
Wow.
And
Now
the people
that's a
I worked with, I got to tell you, there's no greater work group than flight attendants. Just the best fun, thinking, careful, caring.
Sheila, that's a wonderful story. And it reminds me when I have the opportunity to, not recently, but to coach younger people. I worked for many great big global companies over the years. And I would say to them, don't get stuck on one track in life. If you see a little bit of light coming in that window, open the shade, pull up that blind, open the window, see what's there. It could be an opportunity. Leonard Cohen has a famous line in one of his songs about the light coming in the crack of the window. But I also said to them, Mitchell, I think you'll appreciate this. If you see the door is just a little bit open, even an inch cracked open, push that damn door open because you might have an opportunity on the other side you didn't even know exist. I think, Sheila, you must be on your 25th career. I think I've had 9 careers already.
Oh, boy.
Obviously a newcomer to this business. You've done a lot more than I. TJ, what about you?
Quote from Leonard Cohen is in my book.
See, that's why we talk about creativity on this show, because as unique as we each are, we have a lot of things in common, a lot of things that have passed by or we've passed by in our lives that we can glean and appreciate in each other. So thank you all for the adding what was in the dash on your lives, in addition to the opening poem. And I'll tell Sylvie you appreciated the poem. And at the end of the show, I'll tell you who she really is. Now, let's go. Mitchell, I'm going to go to you because I don't know how long you're going to stick around. Let's make this 2 minutes. And Mitchell sent me an opening quote from Dickie Fox, played by Jared Jusim in the movie Jerry Maguire, 1996 sports comedy drama film directed by Cameron Crowe, produced by Crowe and James L. Brooks, blah, 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 blah. Tom Cruise, sports agent, Jerry Maguire with Cuba Gooding Jr., Renee Zellweger. You had me at hello, remember, Dorothy? Yeah. Kelly Preston, Jerry O'Connell, Jay Moore, Bonnie Hunt, hello, and Regina King. So this actor was actually, he is an American lawyer, a deputy general counsel, an EVP of Sony Pictures, and he played this Dickie Fox character. Here's the quote Mitchell has picked from the gazillion quotes that were in that movie that you could have picked, like show me the money and you had me at hello, but he went for a different one. The key to this business is personal relationships. Mitchell, tell us how this works with your creativity. Go ahead.
You know, what's really interesting is if you think about the internet. Now, I was one of those guys during the .com days that I'd go around to companies and I'd say, this is new technology company. That new technology is going to allow us to talk directly to our customers. It's going to allow us to talk directly, have our supply chain manufacturers drop ship product directly to customers. I was physically kicked out of the offices of 2 companies. Now, what we were talking about, obviously, is the internet. And what allowed us to see the internet was Mark Andreessen showed us Mosaic. That was the first browser that allowed us to look at the internet. Well, in 2023, we got to see the first AI, although we've been talking about AI for 60 years.
Yep.
With ChatGPT, what we're able to see is the fact that the world of tomorrow is not going to be the same as today. And I will make a bold statement. Today, anyone who wants to be a thought leader, today, anyone who wants to be quote unquote creative, all they have to do is know how to ask AI the right things, the right prompts.
Yes.
So here's the problem. You can't think about being this huge influencer, this huge creative, this huge innovator. What you have to think about is how can you be a huge person to influence others? And the best way to influence others is through personal relationships, through personal conversations, for personal getting to know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it comes down to. It's all about the personal relationships that will allow you to open up the door, to allow people to see you, to allow people to feel you, to allow people to have the interest in wanting to then go further, to get to know you, to get to trust you, to get to love you.
And that's when your real creativity comes out, is when you're connecting with people. That was the relationships in the quote. Am I right on that, Mitchell?
Thank you for finishing my sentence.
You're welcome, dear. Now, interesting story. I'm going to TJ's quote next, and it has a little bit of a natural segue from what you just shared, Mitchell. So TJ has picked a quote from Professor John Keating, played by the wonderful, he left us too soon, the talented, the extraordinary Robin Williams. Mitchell, what?
Before you start, I really do need to take my leave, and please accept my apologies, everybody, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come on, and you've let me think about something other than why I was here for a nice period of time, and so I am honored. So thank you.
Mitchell, lovely. Thanks for staying the half hour. We appreciate it.
We'll miss you.
Regards to you and your family, and have a safe trip to France when you go, and give the Frick Museum my best. I haven't been in New York in several years, but I'll make a point of getting there. So thank you, Mitchell. You be well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, just the three of us. Here we are. So let's go to, it was nice to have him here. TJ, I'm going to your quote from Professor John Keating, played by Robin Williams. The movie is The Dead Poets Society, 1989, coming of age drama film. And I always have a problem with that description, TJ, on Wikipedia, because it was so much more than that. It wasn't coming of age. It was just a movie for all ages to be. There was so much going on. Robin Williams' story of an English teacher who inspires his students through teaching poetry in 1959 at a fictional elite boarding school called the Welton Academy. And he shocks the boys the first day by saying carpe diem, the Latin expression for seize the day. But here's the quote you have picked, and it's very interesting. Sheila, you're going to enjoy this. It's medicine, law, business, engineering. These are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life, but poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. Oh, TJ, I wish I could still crochet that on a pillow or paint it on a wall somewhere. TJ, tell us how you found this beautiful quote, please. Go ahead, and what it has to do with your creativity.
Well, I was very sensitive and musical growing up. And I think that I thought those things made me weak or too soft or something. I also played sports, but as I grew, I realized that those were strengths. Those were wonderful things. Funny example, my dad would always open up the newspaper. He read several, and he would look at me and say, "Why are you reading the arts and entertainment section first? You should be reading the front page or the sports or whatever." But always interested in that stuff. And I think that movie was part of the subconscious reasons for me to want to pursue teaching English. And after graduate school, I got a job teaching at a private school for boys in the Philadelphia area. So probably on the 15th time I'd seen the movie, I decided I needed to do some more research. It turns out that the movie was filmed in the Philadelphia area, and specifically in Delaware, which is very close, the campus of St. Andrews, which is a beautiful, beautiful place. And I went down there and I walked those halls and just kind of relived it. And I thought, this is something that I want to make my life about, is developing others and sending that message to make your lives extraordinary, to allow those gifts to come out in spite of the risk, in spite of whatever fear that exists, because we all have them. And I'll just say, those things that are inside you are crying to be let out, and you just have to keep going. Take that step.
You do have to. And I love the second part of that quote, which is just so beautiful, about the things we stay alive for. That's it. Those are those wonderful words. The beauty, the poetry, the romance, the love. That's somehow woven in there, the poetry of life. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful quote, TJ.
Thank you.
I thank you for picking it. Sheila, anything you want to say about his quote before we go to yours?
Oh my gosh, I'm just blown away. Thank you, TJ. That was really lovely. I love quotations. I collect them. And I have one at least at the top of every chapter.
Oh, very interesting. I'm writing my novella. I'm in the editing stages, the developmental and line editing stages, And I'm using as the chapter headings. I'll tell you later what it's about, and I have a pseudonym because if people knew I'd written it, they'd kill me. So yeah, it's a scathing, sarcastic. Never mind. It's just yeah, it's cute. It's really funny. But I am using song titles as the chapter heads. So I'll say something, something, something. Ode to the Beatles, or Ode, Wake Up Little Susie, Ode to the Everly Brothers. And I'm putting that every couple of pages, there's another chapter heading in caps because I wanted to read like chapters rather than just a long story. It's only going to be about 120 pages, but it's a lot of fun. So let's go to Sheila. Sheila has picked a quote. Nobody's ever picked this for my show before. And it's summertime, and the group who sang this is the Beach Boys, 1963. The album is, and the title of the song is Surfin' USA. The song is credited, Sheila, to Chuck Berry and Brian Wilson. I guess you knew this. It's a rewritten version of Chuck Berry's Sweet Little 16, set to new lyrics by Brian Wilson and uncredited to one of the other Beach Boys, Mike Love, released as a single on March 4th, 1963. Backing on the single, the A-side and the B-side was Shut Down. It was the opening track of the album of the same name. So here's the quote Sheila has picked. I'm not going to sing it, but I would really love to. But if you'll sing it with me, if everybody had an ocean, then everybody'd be surfing like California. You'd see them wearing their baggies, Huarache sandals too, a bushy blonde hairdo. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. See, I can't stand it. I can't not. Okay, Sheila, rescue me, dear. You either want to sing it, TJ saying, why did you sing it? Because you don't want to ruin the show.
Oh, I want to sing it with you.
Do you? You want to sing it? You ready? If everybody had an ocean. Somebody start it. Go on.
Surfing USA.
Okay. Anything,
I'll
Sheila, you
dance,
want to sing
sing.
more?
I can dance, but I can't sing.
My drums are in the other room. You'd see them wearing their baggies, Huarache sandals too. I'm off the, anyway. Sheila, how did you pick this up? What does this have to do with your creativity? You got to rescue us here. TJ, we tried. Go ahead, Sheila.
I thought you were looking for a song, first couple lines of a song. I didn't
Whatever.
understand you wanted a quote. I have lots of quotations. I'm maybe not at the top of my head, but when I'm talking about job hunting, I say, don't ignore it, explore it. Or obstacles are opportunities.
But we're looking for something in the quote that has to do with your creativity. So let's see if we can take this apart. If everybody had an ocean, if you had an ocean, Sheila, I think you've been transporting yourself over oceans all over the world and being creative about your career, about your
Riding
different.
the waves.
That's right. You'd see them wearing their, but you probably have changed costume many, many times in your different jobs. Everybody's gone surfing USA. So let's talk about how creativity can be part of anybody's life. Sheila, can you go there for me a little bit?
One of the things I got a kick out of in Tokyo was they really liked having what they called gaijins, white foreigners, specifically white foreigners, in the musical productions and in the ballet. So I signed up for $25 a day. It was just such fun. I would stand in the background of the ballet, swishing a peasant skirt, or in an opera, and I was able to do that several times. It was just a hoot. I also did some real people modeling when I was in Tokyo, which was great fun.
Really? Tell me about that switching the peasant skirts. What actually were you doing in this opera? You were switching somebody who was in the opera? You were helping them switch their costume, or what were you doing?
No, I was on stage in the background with 30 other peasants. It was a hoot. It was just a hoot. But they wanted all, because the opera was from Italy and the ballet was from France, the Japanese didn't want to see Japanese faces in the background. They wanted to see white faces. So there it was.
Interesting. So creativity is what I said. If that door is cracked open a little bit or that window has a little bit of light coming through, push it open and see what's there for you. Can we go with that, Sheila?
Sure.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you both for the quotes. I appreciate that. Let's go with, we're going to go to the creativity statements. We've got plenty of time now. I'm sorry, Mitch couldn't stay, but let's go. I'm going to start reading one from you, TJ, and I'd like you to expand it for a couple minutes and then Sheila can comment. Sheila, if you want to comment, I think you have 10 fingers. Wiggle one of the nice fingers. I don't respond to the middle one, just the middle one. No, that's a no. Any other finger. And otherwise I'll pick one of yours, Sheila, and then we'll go back and forth. And then I have some other things I'd like to share. So TJ says, there is always a creative conversation in my mind. I'm quoting TJ. Funny skits, fiction stories, and nonfiction concepts to share. Let's talk about those conversations. That's a very core of the creative mind, TJ, is when conversations and things are happening. And I appreciate skits and funny. So tell us, what are these conversations like? When do they come to you? What do you do with them, TJ?
It's amazing. I will say this first. There are statistics that show that people spend a great deal of their time in negative thinking, somewhere around 70% or negative self-talk. So I welcome these moments, and it's like a traffic jam of thoughts. And when the creative stuff comes, it's random. It's like I'm mowing the lawn, walking, lifting weights, watching a streaming show that triggers something. And I'm just hungry for story, hungry for trying to tap into what you can learn from what's going on. And so it's fantastic. The challenge for me is, what do I do with these creative thoughts when I'm on the move? How do I remember? And I have a love-hate with my phone, but when I have it, I'll do an audio, I'll send myself an email. Occasionally I use notes, which I know that's what it's for, but it feels like extra steps. And the part about the funny skits, I was an actor and did some serious stuff and laughed on stage. And I had an experience once where I had to chop wood on stage, and I swung so hard that I went through the wood and the axe stuck in the stage. And when I pulled it out with such force that the axe handle broke in half.
Oh dear.
And everybody in the audience laughed. I couldn't stop laughing. The other actor and I barely got through the scene. But from that, there's just this joy, and I loved it. I don't have what it takes to be a stand-up, but there's this ongoing dialogue in my head that situations, either awkward ones or simple ones in the grocery store, I'm kind of always thinking of skits. I probably should submit some stuff to Saturday Night Live or whatever. But
they're on hiatus. Don't worry about them. Write it down. Submit it to yourself. Submit. I love the fact you said the love-hate relationship with your phone. I'm in a battle with the name of a certain character in my novella, which is funny. It's very sarcastic, but I have naming stories for how each of the main characters got their names, the battle with their parents and their culture, and however, and bullies who were making fun of them and how they picked their own nickname. And I couldn't sleep the other night. I had somebody in the family had a health issue, and I couldn't sleep. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden I said to myself, well, do something important here. Don't get up. Don't go in your office. Don't go to the computer. Don't go do puzzles. Just think. And I said, I think I have a better name for that character. And I think I know how I'm going to do it. So I picked up my phone, put on my glasses next to the bed in the dark. Thank goodness I have enough glow on that phone. And I wrote myself 2 emails, and I said, rename character such and such. And then I sent it, and I said, no, there's more. And I sent myself another email. So when I fell asleep and I got up 5 or 6 hours later, I came into my office, and there were both emails waiting for me with the names I had to do with that character. And then I could sit down and rewrite that chapter. And I don't usually do that. But so you use your phone. Do you do a voice memo for yourself?
I have, and for some reason, it's kind of uncomfortable. Like I put the pressure on myself to say the words correctly. I need to let go of that. But I certainly have in the past. It's probably a good practice. But,
it might be, but I was going to say, when you put that axe through, and Sheila, I'm going to ask you you were doing improv, whether you knew it or not. You might have been thinking, what does this scene need? and you were so involved in being that character, you just let loose. And that I don't think you planned it, but improv is not planned.
The
It's something,
adrenaline.
it's something that you're creating in the moment, and you're not sure where it's going to land and how it's going to be taken, whether literally landing the acts in the stage or whether how it lands in people's funny bones.
Yeah.
But you were creating something at the end. The secret to improv is not say, it's my turn, it's my turn. It's what does the room need?
Yeah.
And right now, that room needed you to be very passionate.
It's hilarious. And I continued to laugh about that for days. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night cracking up, picturing the whole scene. And the guy on the stage acting with me literally like fell over. He was laughing so hard.
That's a great memory. That's a great.
It's a
Sheila,
great
have you ever had thoughts during the night or when you were somewhere else and had to, well, you travel so much, had to write them down or save them for yourself, Sheila?
No, not that I can think of. I think of things when I focus on whatever it is I want to conduct, whatever idea I want to develop. I don't recall coming up with things out of nowhere.
Okay. Interesting. About 10 years ago, I decided I wanted to write a romantic comedy play. And I'd never written a play before. I have my own TV show on Long Island, and I was directing, and I was producing and hosting and all kinds of things. So what I did was I Googled, there's a point to this. I Googled, how do you write a play? And I found a website that said, here's a Word document. It's Microsoft Word. Just download it, free download. It'll tell you the font, how to space it, how to set up. This is the character overview. This is the scene. Curtain goes up, curtain goes. The whole structure was there. So I put it into my own document, and then I wrote from 1 till 4 in the morning for 3 nights in a row. And my characters told me what they wanted to say, who they were, what they ate, what they looked like, what their backgrounds were, Sheila. It came to me because your point, I was focused. But to your point, TJ, it was just there. And it was funny and it was good. And I didn't have to think too hard about it. I didn't do much editing of that. And I found some community actors who were willing to do it if they didn't have to work too hard. And so we did on a green screen. They were sitting in an empty TV studio on plain folding chairs with a green curtain behind them. And my friend and director went to Manhattan and took video of buses and cars in front of Penn Station. We needed the city noise. And he took some videos of traffic out of the top. He had somebody driving his car out of the moonroof. And it was starting, and pictures of in front of Penn Station. So we superimposed the characters on green screen over the video. And that's why they were sitting. And then it took place. And then we had a picture of a cab, which was a van. And we had the video of it sitting, looking like the door was opening and closing. They were sitting there on chairs in the studio against a green curtain. The whole thing looked real. And we played the noise. And I had them standing in front of Penn Station with a crowd behind them. But my point was that it all came together because we had so many creative minds putting this together. So TJ, George, my director, could think of, how am I going to bring this to life for Red in her studio?
Absolutely.
And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you run into problems that need solutions or challenges along the way.
Yes.
And everybody has like a different angle, different perspective. And those are beautiful moments. I mean, that happens professionally, that happens in families, and relationships too. But in a setting like that, you just get excited and you build on each other's ideas.
We did. I'm going to send you both a link. They're on my Vimeo channel. I'm going to send you both a link to the play. And I had extra actors, and I did the play twice with a slight twist at the end. The female had blonde hair in one and brunette, and the 2 other men with her were different actors. So I had to produce it twice. But we did it in my TV studio. We had to edit it down to 26 minutes. And my mom, who was 98 at the time and a piano player, created a little opening song for it. And that's in the intro. So I'll send it to you.
Cool.
Thank you. So Sheila, I'm going to go to one of your creativity statements here. This is fun. And you say, for many years, I have sewed various things. When in Mexico, I was in a quilting group and I made quilts using Japanese designs and fabric. That's a lot of creativity from places, from people, from times, from where you've been and what you've thought about. Tell us a little about your quilting and tell us about the beautiful quilts behind you on the wall. Go ahead, Sheila.
The quilt behind me is of Japanese fabric and Japanese designs. And I was in an international quilting group in Tokyo. And we decided at one point to each pick out a Japanese design that we wanted everybody to do, and then we trade. So my quilt has blocks from 12 different people.
Wow.
And their quilt includes one of my boxes. And then I put the quilt together after I had all the pieces. So it was a fun project, but it also was wonderful being with people from all over the world in the quilting group. There were Japanese there too, but there were also people from Europe, a lady from Australia. So sewing somehow went, when I was in I was about 10, and I saw a blouse that I really wanted in the store, and my mother said, "Oh, that's too expensive. You can't have that." And I thought maybe I could make it. And so I saved up my money and I bought some fabric and I started working on it. I got a pattern, but I was making it by hand, and my parents gave me a used sewing machine. So I made this little blue sleeveless blouse.
Oh.
And I still have a picture of it somewhere. It just tickles me to think about it. So I don't do anything fancy, but when I was in Tokyo, I was the master of ceremonies for, the American Chamber of Commerce is huge there. And first I was membership chairman, and then I was elected to the board. And all that to say that I was co-MC of our ball 2 years in a row. The first year, I bought a kimono, and I cut it up, and I made a skirt and a jacket out of the kimono.
Oh.
The second year, I bought an obi, and I made a dress out of the obi.
Sheila, your creativity is coming out of your pores, lady.
Yeah, oh yes, that's where I focused.
That's amazing. And all of the careers you've had, so many things, the travels, the places you have gone and brought your heart and your caring. She's a caring warrior, TJ.
Absolutely.
You are, Sheila. I think without even having read his book, go ahead.
I just said, as are you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, Sheila's I'm not a warrior anymore, but I sit here and I talk to interesting people. That's absolutely fascinating. The reason I brought up the idea of the plays that I wrote, a funny story, was years later when I moved to North Carolina, I wanted to do something socially with the community. I became a drummer. I took lessons and I was the drummer and MC for a 14-piece Motown band, and we did concerts for the community. But what was I going to say? I produced one of my plays. People didn't really get it. I ended up doing 3 plays, but I started something called a cold reading salon. Get this. I put it in the calendar, whoever wanted to sign up, and I said, just come, bring an open mind. And I went online and I found dialogues and monologues that were free to download. I didn't take anything. Roald Dahl, who wrote Charlie the Wonka of the Factory, Talk the Factory, he had some short stories that you could, with characters in them, dialogues, monologues. I downloaded, I printed. God, did I use printer ink? I printed up, I had 25 people sign up for this. I did it twice. And I printed out and I put on the top of the page, it was for one person, whether it was a scene, whether it was a dialogue, a monologue, or a 3 or 4 person scene. And I spread them out on a big table. And I said, everybody come up, shuffle through these and pick something. Just pick it. Just take a look. Don't read it too much. Just pick it from the top, from the name of whatever the scene was, whoever the author was, and then to go sit down. You got 5 minutes. Look through it and decide how you're going to do it. This is a cold read. And I said, okay, who's brave enough? Somebody raised her hand. I said, come on up. Come up in the middle of the circle. And I said, do your scene. And she did whatever it was. And everybody went wild. It was wonderful. I think she did it with an accent and she did it with a character. But this was, I called a cold reading salon. So long story longer, she had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead when she was good. She was really, really good. When she was bad, don't say it. Anyway, this is a runaway curl. Somebody picked, I put in a scene from my play and I forgot that I put it in there, and somebody picked it. And this person gets up and they are reading this character's monologue. And I'm laughing hysterically. And I said, that is so damn funny. And then the light bulb moment went off. I said, I wrote that. That's my play. I had forgotten I put it in the pile, and it was so good. And I said,
Fun.
I wrote that myself. That's from my play. So I'll send you the play anyway. We have 4 minutes to close. I want to go through some other things, but hold on now. Okay, so thank you for the creativity statements. I think we've covered an awful lot here. So let's see what else I have. Mitchell, we didn't get to go through his, but I think he told us a lot about himself, and that was good. Okay, let's see. I have a creativity poem to read to both of you. I belong to an online poetry group, and this I wrote on July 24th. We get a prompt every Wednesday morning. We write. I write 3 to 5 poems every week. And in April and November, we get a prompt every day, and I write 5 to 10 poems a day. I've written about 700 poems, all different formats. I don't like sleeping, but I do. So here, this is called Night Shift. It's an acrostic. So it's NIGHTSHIFT. That was the prompt. And let me read this. I think you'll appreciate it. Never quite really at rest. It's the life of a creative. Going, gripping, gyrating, growling, groaning, growing, highs and lows, flowing on a mental Mobius strip. The days are the nights are the days again, shifting off and on into and out of gear, hoping for unique brilliance even once. It's the calling, command, curse, roller coaster, finding eureka, euphoria amid frustration, fears. Thus is the life of the creative.
Wow. Wow.
I wrote that in about 5 minutes, but that was July 24th, 2024. That was almost a year ago. My goodness. So let me see here. I have a couple more famous people to talk about today. In 1964, I've got 3 minutes here. The Rolling Stones had their first UK hit with their cover of Bobby Womack's song, It's All Over Now. Okay. Today, in 1969, the movie Easy Rider. Remember that? With Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper as the motorcycle riding free spirits. It opened in the movies with the Born to Be Wild song with heavy metal thunder. The soundtrack sold 500,000 copies. Today, in 1988, at the height of Elvis is Alive mania, a radio station in Nashville called WYHY, like Y with a W, with a Sheila, there's your W, with an extra Y, offered $1 million to anybody who could show up at the studio with Elvis. He's been dead for quite a few years, obviously. Today, in 1993, the Postal Service introduced 4 new stamps honoring Broadway musicals, one for My Fair Lady, one for Porgy and Bess, one for Showboat, and one for Oklahoma. Today is International Town Criers Day. Hello, hello, hello. It is Be Nice to Bugs Day. It is Grand Marnier Day. I think I have some. It's Mac and Cheese Day. It's Nude Day. Don't even ask. Tape Measure Day, Pandemonium Day, and Shark Awareness Day. And I think I had some, you know what? I had a couple of birthdays here of people you don't know about. And I have moved this stuff around so many times in my notes, I have lost them. We had somebody from social media. Here we go. On YouTube, Natalie Pop is 21 years old today. Why am I telling you that, TJ and Sheila? Because she has 2.3 million subscribers and 310 million views. Wow. And 5 million on 5 million on TikTok. Also, Kylie Ray Hall is on Instagram. She posts modeling poses. She's a model and documents her personal life. She has 2.2 million followers. Happy birthday. And we have Vinny Hacker. That's his real name on TikTok. He has 15 million followers. He posts lip sync videos, and he has tattoos on his arm and his chest. And TJ, he shows his arms and his chest, and people love it. So now I can do my real closing, and thank you very much. Don't go away. We'll talk afterwards. So here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Scroll faster. Here we go. I have so many notes. There's like 15 pages of notes here. Here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, keep going, keep going. Okay, in 2014, I closed the show with the top 10 tips for women. 2014, 11 years ago. And the top 10 tip was aspire to be Barbie. The biatch has everything. That was 10 years before the movie. Here we go. Follow along. Life is short. Break the rules. Forgive quickly. Never. Kiss slowly. Oh, yes. Love truly. Laugh uncontrollably. Laugh with me, both of you. And never, ever regret anything that made you smile. Final words. Work like you don't need the money. Dance like no one's watching. When I taught disco in high heels in a high school cafeteria, 250 people, everybody watched. Sing like nobody's listening. I wish. Love like you've never been hurt. We all have. Let your heart heal, regrow, be resilient. Let your heart be a warrior, TJ. Money talks, chocolate sings, la. And last but not least, thank you for turning me on. And let me go to my closing. And here we go. Closing song.
Radio producer and host,
Don't go away.
akaRadioRed, invites you to eavesdrop on her live, unscripted conversations with smart, savvy, creative people as she discovers what makes them tick, where they find their inspiration, when creativity first became their passion, and how their creative process can inspire the rest of us to think out of the box. Enjoy akaRadioRed's always lively, cool conversations with creatives. Oh, how those lips can talk.
There we go. Okay. Thank you very